how's it going? So today I have a video with like all of my favorite anthologies and like collections, treasuries of like nursery rhymes, fairy tales, and story collections. I've been collecting a lot lately because I'm 33 weeks pregnant, but my daughter and I have also, she's 11, we have also enjoyed a lot of these books over the years. Some are new to us and some are older from our collection. So yeah, let's get started. So I actually arranged them by age. So I'm going to start with the youngest age, which is like, oral read alouds. And then we're going to get into like pretty much all of them, I think, could be oral read alouds, except maybe some of the last ones I'm going to show you guys for like, much older audience, which is like middle grade through adult. But this is a Modern Parent's Guide to Nursery Rhymes. And what I like about this is it gives you a little bit of information about the nursery rhyme on this side. So it has like a little bit of facts for the parent, and then you could read it aloud to your young baby or child or toddler. So yeah, so I really like this. Like this one's Peter Piper. And Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, and then it says, Peter Piper existed before the turn of the 19th century, but in 1813 he became the star of a booklet published in England called Peter Piper's Practical Principles of Plain and Perfect Pronunciation. So it has like a little bit of information, so I love that. So that's my first one. I'm going to link all of these items also. I got them from a variety of places, Amazon, thriftbooks.com, Better World Books, online, local thrift stores. But yeah, okay. So I have a few different Mother Goose versions. I have Richard Scarry's Best Mother Goose Ever. And I think this could be appropriate for a read aloud to a baby and then also for toddlers. So, it has like the traditional Richard Scarry illustration, and it has like nursery rhymes. So this one's a little bit less formal. It kind of just has like a nursery rhyme on each page, but it doesn't really have a title. Has the index in the beginning. And then another Mother Goose. This is called The Real Mother Goose. Has a lot of rhymes in alphabetical order in the beginning. And then it has like the first line, which I love because sometimes, you might remember a rhyme from your childhood, but then you don't know the name of it, and it has like the first line, so you could find it either way. And this one's a little bit more formal. It has like the title of the nursery rhyme. Illustrated by Blanche Fisher Wright. Okay, and so my third Mother Goose, which also would be really good for a really, really, really young age group, would be Mother Goose, and it's like pictures by Gaio Fujikawa, I believe. This one has like kind of like a cottagecore vibe to it. It has like the index. And then it also has them grouped alphabetically. Oh, sorry. No, this one also has the index of first lines. So this one has color and black and white illustrations. So I plan to read I plan to go through all of these books with just like putting like a little bookmark and just doing them like a few rhymes or one rhyme a day until we get through them from like, I guess, age kind of 0 to 3. That's my goal for these. I love the illustrations. Okay, so this next one is from the library. I wanted to try this one. It is Once There Was a Story, Tales from Around the World, Jane Yolen, and illustrated by Jane Dyer. I don't think I'm going to purchase this one, but I checked it out with that in mind, thinking because I'd have to keep rechecking it out to finish it. So I thought maybe I'll just try it from the library to see. I do like it, but I don't know. I like how it tells you the tale from where it, like where it comes from. The Gingerbread Man, America. Lazy Jack, England. So I don't, you know what it is? I think I didn't really connect with the illustration in this one as much as some of the other ones I've looked at online or the ones I have. Oh, to show you guys. So yeah, so table of contents. Okay, and then this one I think could be a variety of ages. I think you could read this one as a read aloud for a toddler because they have their attention span is starting to get longer, or like more preschool, I would say, when they're getting to the age of picture books. So I think this one could last a really long time, you know, for a variety of ages. But this is a 20th century children's book treasury. And it has all these different picture books. A lot of classic picture books that most of us are probably familiar with, like Madeline. Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. Goodnight Gorilla. Where the Wild Things Are. Curious George. I thought it'd be really nice to have all of these in one book. To check out some stories I haven't read before. And also to kind of go through it again, like with a bookmark day by day. I plan to read a lot of anthologies and like treasuries in the first few years, and then we'll get a little bit more into picture books. I think we're still going to mix in picture books, you know, and we're going to be doing board books, but these, like, I love to do like a bedtime or like before nap time, just like a real quick story. Okay, you guys, so now we're getting into like the ages where it's like the picture book age group, you know, like pre-K, you know, all the way up until when your young reader stops reading picture books, which I still read picture books as an adult. But a lot of these I've enjoyed myself as an adult, so you don't have to be any age. But now we're getting into more like the traditional picture book age. I would say 4 on up. So this one is The Complete Tales of Winnie the Pooh. That'd be really nice to have all of these in one book. Sorry, I was looking for the contents. So that is all of the Winnie the Pooh, which I think would make awesome read aloud. Now we have The Complete Brambley Hedge by Jill Barklam. Very pretty. Very cottagecore vibes. Now we have another story collection. This one is Beatrix Potter, The Complete Tales. I read all of these myself, like last year, I believe, and I really enjoyed them. By Beatrix Potter. Okay, now we have Aesop's Fables, illustrated by Charles Santor. So this one I think you could do a little bit younger because you could read them orally and they're very short. So I would say kind of moving. I should have put this one before, but I think this one could be like toddler or up to pre-K and older. Even middle grade, I think. I think even adults could enjoy. So beautiful illustrated Aesop's Fables. Now we have DK, My First Book of Fairy Tales and My First Book of Myths. I like how it came in a little set. But I would say these would be like maybe 3 on up when they're, or maybe 4 on up when the 10, well, I guess it just depends. My daughter's 11, so I honestly don't remember like what age her attention span got a little bit better. Even though they're not fully paying attention to the book, they could still be playing and listening. So I would say you could still start these even earlier. I keep talking about the attention span, but I honestly think read alouds are just good to read out loud, and it doesn't even really matter necessarily if the child's like sitting there watching the book, like looking directly at the book or whatever, just as long as they're getting that exposure to the story. This is My First Book of Fairy Tales. So this one is 20th Century Children's Poetry Treasury. With a lot of whimsical illustrations and like kind of fun-spirited poems. The past few years with my daughter, since she's been older, we've been pretty much just doing like adult poetry and like quote-unquote like, you know, poetry that's like not made for kids at all, because we did so much of this when she was like kindergarten, first grade. Now that I'm having a little one, again, we will be doing a little bit more kind of, you know, stuff like this. So I wanted to try this one. Now I think we're at the age that's like more like middle to upper elementary into middle grade. So we have a whole collection of these. We don't have all of them, but we have 4. And it is the collection by Angela McAllister is the author. And we have A World Full of Dickens Stories, A World Full of Spooky Stories, A Stage Full of Shakespeare Stories, and A Year Full of Stories. I'll start with this one. So, 52 folktales and legends from around the world. Now, my daughter likes to read these currently by herself, but throughout the last few years, I'd say 3rd grade on up, we've kind of like read these together as oral read alouds. Now, you can read these to younger ages. I'm just like doing a very loose, you know, suggestion. So what I like about this one is it starts in January and, you know, goes throughout the year. So you could literally read it. You could start it in the beginning of the year in January, or you could just start it whenever you open it, you know, from that date. Like we usually started this in August because that's when we start homeschool. But like here it's like January, just says wintertime. And this is like a German story. I like how it tells you where around the world. January, okay, here, sorry, I skipped one. January 1st, Father Frost, Russian. And then Chinese New Year, February 2nd. So it tells you some of the dates, specifically within some of the dates are kind of looser. Valentine's Day. So it's really nice. And then Shakespeare, 12 Shakespeare stories. These are the ones it has. I love how it has the cast of characters. I find this is really good for elementary and up because if you're learning about Shakespeare, you can have this as a guide. And of course, it's a short little, like, you know, it's a retelling, so it's in like modern language, if you want to call it that. I'm not sure the exact term, but my daughter really, this was like a really good introduction for Shakespeare for her. Okay, now we have Spooky Stories, 50 Tales. So we're gonna open this one up around Halloween, and my daughter's gonna be in 6th grade, but when I'm filming this video, but I think, like I said, I think it'd be appropriate for a lot of different ages, even adults, who like stories from around the world. Okay. And the last one is Dickens. It has 8 classics, 8 retold classics, of course. So this one I really enjoyed, have been enjoying lately because I wanted to read more Dickens this year, and this gave me a little overview. And I, a lot of times, like to spoil fiction because I want to know if there's going to be something that's going to upset me. Like I sometimes will read reviews that say that they're giving a spoiler. So I don't mind knowing the story. So I like kind of reading, I liked reading this before I read the actual novels for some of these. And again, it has a cast of characters. My daughter really enjoyed this one too, because I'm really encouraging her to read Dickens soon. Okay, you guys, so now I would say I'm not necessarily ending elementary age group, but I think we're moving older now to like middle grade and on up. Now, again, you can read any book to any age, so these don't necessarily mean you can't read them to younger ages. I'm just like being, you know, like as a rough guide. So, okay. Now we have these 2 little collections. I have Grimm's Fairy Tales by Puffin Classics, and then Hans Christian Andersen Fairy Tales, again, Puffin Classics. So my daughter really enjoyed these. They don't have illustrations. That's why, well, actually they do, but very few, black and white. So these are not, you know, like, I think it could be a read aloud, you know, like for older age, but my daughter enjoys reading these on her own. So this is the table of contents. Is really tiny, so I don't know if you could see. But yeah, so, and I enjoy flipping through this sometimes and picking out some of the stories. So yeah, so that I would say middle grader up. And then Hans Christian Andersen. These are the stories. Again, it has very few little black and white illustrations. And then this one, The Fairy Tales of Oscar Wilde, illustrated by Harold Jones. This one has some black and white illustrations. So these I actually have not, I just purchased this book right before this video. So I haven't had a chance personally to read through these at all. So I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I also wanted to mention some of these might be scary. So these might be, you have to sample them, or like, because they're Grimm's. So yeah, so these might be for even older, depending on. My daughter does not get scared very easily, like at all. Like I'm a big chicken. Okay. So yeah, so these, it says on the back he wrote them for his own children. So, but I haven't read them yet. I'm waiting to read them. And then I will see, but yeah. So definitely say middle grade on up. Possibly, I'm not sure. Depending on what, yeah. So I have another set of Anderson and Grimm. Then, okay. So this one is definitely, I would say probably for like, definitely older. It's a very old copy. 20 stories. Author Rackham, illustrated by. So it has like some black and white illustrations. So, oh, it has some color too. Wow, okay. Look at that. Wow. It's beautiful. So these, of course, you would need a sample before you read them, because, you know, Grimm's can get dark. Not all of them, but a lot of them, yeah. So, but yeah, these again could be possibly for adults or possibly middle grade on up, depending. And then this is just an old vintage copy of Anderson's Fairy Tales. It probably came in like an old book set or something, but I thought it was really pretty. And so it's illustrations by Leonard Weisgard. Here's a table of contents. So it has some black and white illustrations. So these I would definitely say middle grade on up. This one. And then the final one, which I would say I actually bought for myself, so I would say middle grade on up, would be Hans Christian Andersen's Complete Fairy Tales. So this one I actually started reading, but I definitely did not finish yet. Has no illustrations on the inside. Just if you want to have all of his work. All of his work. Wow, a lot. Starting in the 1820s. All the way to 1949. It says, yeah, you guys, so I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I really had a great time choosing and selecting these books. We have some other books that I thought might have fit in, but I just didn't want to overwhelm. But yeah, these are like a lot of the ones I got recently, and then our favorites. So I hope you really enjoyed. I'd love for you to like and comment, and it really helps support my channel and let me know what topics you like. Also, thanks for watching. Bye.